Hi there, and thank you for tuning in to the Social Circus, where every week we dive into a variety of topics covering social media, mindset, and how to run your business. I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. Hello, my lovely listeners, and welcome to another episode of the Social Circus. Today's episode is episode 134, and it is the final episode for 2024. So this is my third year of running my podcast. And every year over Christmas, we take 4 weeks off. And the reason for that is really simple. It takes a lot of energy, a lot of effort, and a lot of time to create a podcast each and every week. So what we do is we close the podcast, or we take a little like a season break over the Christmas period for 4 weeks. So today's episode is your final episode for the year. So I hope you're going to enjoy it. But we will be back on Wednesday, the 8th of January with a new episode. And I'm really excited to share that with you because I'm going to be doing a few solo episodes in January, really to get yourself locked and loaded for the year ahead. So as I say, this is my final episode for the year, and we will be back on Wednesday, the 8th of January. Now, in today's episode, I am going to be sharing with you what I am doing during my Christmas break. Now, many of you will know in my business, I am very busy. I coach 2 days a week pretty intensively. I run a mastermind. I also have a membership, and all of those have contact each and every month. And so what that means is that I'm very available. I have to show up really, really consistently. And when I show up, I have to show up as my best self. Every single client that has paid for me has their hour or half day or VIP day or whatever it is as one of the most important things that they can do. So for me, it's really important that I always show up as my best self. Whether you're number 1 in my day or number 8 in my day in terms of clients, it is really, really important that I show up as my best self. And because of that, as we near the end of the year, I am definitely finding my energy starting to slow down. I definitely feel like I'm running out of momentum. So I've only got a couple of days before I close for the year. So that's okay because I close on the 13th. But what I wanted to share with you is what I'm planning to do over the Christmas period. So we officially close Friday, the 13th of December. So in a couple of days' time, we'll be closed for the rest of the year. Now, we actually don't reopen until the 20th of January, which is about 4.5 weeks break. Now, in that time, I'm showing up and doing a couple of things. On New Year's Eve, I'm doing a closing out ceremony. I'm doing a 1-hour online class for that. And in the first week of January, I think it's like the 6th, I'm doing a welcome week for my mastermind to get all the new ladies onboarded because we're spending a whole year together. Those are the only activities I will be showing up for. Okay. So in that 4.5 weeks, I'm only showing up online 5 times. So I don't have a lot of things that I need to show up for. I'm not doing any coaching during that period. And I say that I really have to hold my boundaries on this because it's really important that I regroup my energy, and I really need to have a break from coaching because I feel like I'm running out of momentum, and therefore taking that break from coaching is going to recharge my batteries for the year ahead. Now, obviously I've got teenage sons, I've got a husband and a family, and my boys are working over my son's at uni holidays and my younger son works. So they're working over the summer and they're not super excited about hanging out with my husband and I anymore. So we booked a family camping trip and we're going away, I think for about 8 days in that month and a half that we're having off. The rest of the time I'm going to be at home in my house, which is also where my office is. So my intention is to really set myself up for success in 2025. And I'm going to share with you the strategies or tools or actions that I'm going to be taking over the Christmas break to ensure that 2025 gets off to a flying start for me and my business. Now, I typically run quite a tidy office. Our 4th bedroom in our house is an office, and I share it with my husband. And he does all of our podcast editing. He works on our website, landing pages, all of those kind of behind the scenes things that you see happen in the business. Now, I love him, is a little bit of a messy bunny. So our office can start to look a little bit chaotic. And because I have teenagers and every meal in our house is like the Last Supper, we tend to have a lot of food in our house. And at the moment, I'm sitting here at my desk, and in the corner, it's like I'm prepping for the apocalypse. There is so much food in the corner. I did a big Costco shop the other day. And actually, that's not what's supposed to happen. So looking at that's really inspired me that as soon as we close for Christmas, the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to overhaul my office. And this sounds like a kind of silly thing to do, but it's a really good thing to do energetically because we clear out all the clutter. So all of that food is going to go into the laundry where I actually have a kind of prep. I call it a preps pantry. It's a bit of a joke. So all of that food needs to go out, but I need to rearrange that. So it's quite a big job to tidy my office because I'm going to have to tidy other parts of my house. So I plan to spend an actual couple of days doing this. One is to get everything out of my office that doesn't belong in here and then finding that a home. But the other thing is to also empty everything off my desk. So right now I have like a ton of bills. I have a ton of all of the receipts, and I've been really naughty and not been scanning them to the app on my phone. So I'm going to sit down and do all of that because I love a paperless office. I'm going to empty all of my drawers, like literally tip them out and then decide what do I need. I'm decently confident it's not 50 pens. And I don't know how pens multiply in my house, but I seem to always have so many. And so I'm sure that there are other people that could use those more, particularly if people have kids at school and stuff like that. So emptying out my office is a really great thing to do. I will clean it all, dust it all, tidy it all up, and really make it feel like it's got all of that fresh feels to it. It feels very organized, and I've got rid of a lot of things that are simply taking up space. I have a set of drawers next to my desk. I don't even know what's in them. I'm not even sure how often I open them, but I do know that they are all absolutely crammed to the hilt. I can barely open them. So cleaning out my office, decluttering it, tidying it is a really great thing to do, but it's likely to take a couple of days because of the nature of my office becoming a dumping ground for our food, which is not my intention. I also want to have a look at, does everything on my desk need a refresh? I have lots of very same things in my office. Do I want to change that? Do I want to change my background where I'm talking? All of those kind of things I'm going to look at with fresh eyes. And what all of this will do is it will create a space that's conducive to work. I cannot tell you how important this is. Having a space that is dedicated to your business is key. Now, when I started my business 13 odd years ago, we didn't have an office. And I used to work on my laptop sitting on my couch. And so I've kind of grown into having an office, grown into this space, and I've grown into having myself set up so that I can turn on my camera and shoot. And I think I've talked about this before. I intentionally rotated our office so that my desk faces the middle of the room and there was a wall directly behind me, which makes it very easy to turn a camera on and start recording. And what I've done is I've removed all the resistance to that because I don't have the excuse like, oh, my lights are not set up, or my camera's not in the right spot, or my desk looks too messy. All of that resistance is gone. So I can't tell you, when you're tidying your office, find a space where you are going to be able to record content regularly. And what I mean by that is I want you to be able to turn a camera on and go. I don't want you to have to get lights out. I don't want you to have to go, oh, that wall looks terrible. This looks terrible. I want you to create a space that's really, really easy for you to point and shoot. It has been probably the biggest game changer to my business is being able to record content without having to feel like I need to faff about. I remember a few years ago before I started with my digital products, we used to have a green screen set up in our dining room and my husband would record me and faff about with the green screen behind me. What a lot of work that was. Now I have the lights set up in my office. I have my microphone on and boom arm so it's easy to push in and out. I have the camera set up on my top of my computer and I can just point and go. It has removed all of those barriers, and it's also removed the barriers to say to my husband, well, I want to record. Can we spend a day doing this? Can we do this? Can we do that? Because that all creates resistance and we don't want that in our business. So cleaning out my office has a very important role in terms of making me feel organized, but it also creates a space where I know I can run my business really simply, really easily. And I really want that for you as well. So I want you to have a think about, what does that look and feel like? Now, the other thing that I'm going to do is I'm looking at the systems that I share with my my virtual assistants. And Claire, who's my Perth-based virtual assistant, said to me, we really need to go into your Trello and have a little tidy up. And maybe we need to, like, we manage all of my coaching clients on Trello boards. And she said to me, I think we need a template for when you set up a new client. And I think we need a better system of how we track hours and all of that kind of thing. Now, that doesn't sound like a hard job. And look, I could totally give that task to Claire and know that she can do it. But she already set up a templated one and it's not exactly working how I would like. So I need to throw my head into it and think about, is this correct? What what's not missing, what's not working, what can I do better? So one of my goals over the Christmas break is to completely overhaul my Trello. I'm going to tidy up all of my boards. I'm going to get rid of things that are not working for me, and I'm going to review to see how things are working. Now, I'm obsessed with Trello, and it is something that I have to say, thanks to Claire, my assistant, she is a Trello. I don't know what it's called, but let's just call her a power user. She is amazing at Trello in terms of using it. And one of my goals is to get better value from the tools that I'm using next year. So I'm determined to learn how to use Trello better. And I guess I'm really lucky to have Claire to support me in that. But we use Trello, we use it for managing my podcast. We use it for managing client work. We use it for managing all sorts of things like launches. So next year, I want to be using Trello better. And so my goal over the Christmas break is to be reviewing my Trello to make it work for me. Now, I guess the other thing that a lot of you will do, but I won't be doing, is overhauling my inbox. I'm a bit of an inbox freak. I don't like to have more than 20 emails in my inbox. It's not something that I enjoy. And I don't need to spend a lot of time on that. But one task I will be doing is I will be looking at what I am subscribed to and unsubscribing. Because if you're not opening emails and you're not getting any value from them, just get rid of them. Okay. So unsubscribing from emails is a great holiday task to do. But make sure in the right frame of mind, like don't just go, I hate everyone, I'm getting rid of everything. Ask yourself, when was the last time I opened an email from them? If I opened it, did I get any value from it? Did they have something that I wanted to buy? So be kind of judicious with that. Now, I know for a lot of people, inbox management is a problem. It's not for me. So that's not a task I'm going to be doing. And if it is for you, remember we have tools like ChatGPT that can help us with our inbox management now. I love AI for that. One of my big tasks that I plan to do is my Canva account. Now, I have been using Canva since its start of it, which is years and years. I'm decently confident I haven't deleted anything out of it, and it's a bit of a mess, and it's starting to cause friction. So, when things don't work with ease. Now, I've got a beautiful woman in my mastermind. Her name is Mari Fox, and she has a business called Crafty Fox by Design. Now, Mari has a digital product called the Canva Declutter. Now, I have bought that product with the view that I am going to do a declutter of my Canva account during the Christmas period. And I have to say the friction of my account not working is so great that I'm really motivated to do that. It's probably one of the first tasks I'm going to do probably before Christmas, because I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up with my brand kit not being set up. I'm fed up with not being able to find all my brand elements that I somewhere in upload, somewhere in folders. I have way too many folders. I have way too much content, and I'm wasting time trying to find it, which is not the purpose of it all. And I want to spend the time getting rid of that and really tidying it up so I feel confident I know where to find things. So the Canva Declutter is one of my big projects for the Christmas break. And I should just say, Mari's Canva Declutter Challenge, I would really recommend it. And I'm actually going to put a link in my show notes so that you can go and check out her Declutter Challenge. It was not expensive. And it's going to really, really help you have some focus, because I am pretty great at Canva, but I got really overwhelmed. I get in there and I don't know where to start with decluttering. And when I bought Mari's challenge, it lays it out in different tasks to do. She said you can do it once a week. I'm probably going to do one a day so I can really smash it out in a few days. But I'm really excited because sometimes we just need someone to hold our hand and give us guidance so we're not so overwhelmed by the whole process. So please go check out my show notes, check out the link. I'll put a link into Mari's Declutter Canva Challenge. Have a little look at it. If you're going to join me, send me a DM on Instagram and say, hey, sir, I'm doing the Declutter Challenge. And we can see if we can get Mari to start a little chat for us on Insta. It'd be quite fun to encourage each other along over that break. So that is probably one of my biggest tasks, is overhauling my Canva account, because it's at the point now where it's causing me friction and it's actually slowing me down and I'm wasting time. So that's a sure sign that something needs to change if you're wasting time. Now, one of my other big tools in my business is my Simplero account. Now, going into the new year, I have lots of new people that join my membership, the Blooming Biz Academy. And in my mastermind, I have a new cohort of women starting in a new year as well. So one of my goals over the Christmas break is to ensure that I have taken down all the content for this year. I've created space for new content. Everyone's got access. Everyone knows what's going on. And making sure I've done things like give information to Claire, my assistant, to load up all the calendar, all of those kind of things, so that when we start the new year, everything's locked and loaded. Now, I know that that sounds ridiculous, but I'm sorry, not sorry, but Claire and I planned out my whole of 2025. I think it was late October we started working on my calendar, because things move really quickly and suddenly it's mid-December and you need everything to be ready to go. So for me, planning my calendar is a really, really big task, and that's been done. And what I want to do now is make sure all of my tools can be shared, all of my calendar has been put into my software. All of that kind of thing is really, really important. My other big task over the Christmas break is in my Blooming Biz Academy, which is my membership. People who buy that have access to a range of classes. Now, it is my intention to add more classes to it, and time gets really busy. So I think, if I'm honest, I've maybe added 5 or 6 new classes to it this year, which is not a lot. It's still good, but it's not a lot. So over the Christmas break, it is my hope, and I say that, I'm going to add 10 to 20 new classes in there because I've got a list of what I want to do. I've written about half of them. And what's holding me back is time. I need to be able to sit at my desk. I need it to be quiet. I need to hit record and just record these classes. So having that space where I don't have to do it around clients or around coaching or around other commitments will be really, really luxurious for me because I'll be able to sit down and just spend a whole day doing recording. And I'm really, really excited about that. So that's kind of my big goals. And it does feel like a lot of decluttering and a lot of tidying up and getting organized. But I love that because I know that 2025, Sarah will thank me so much for that. That she'll be just like, thank you for doing all those things. It's made it so, so much easier. The other thing that I want to do, and I know this might sound strange because I will have run my goal setting workshop, but I didn't actually do my goal setting. So one of my plans over the Christmas break is to do my goal setting for 2025. And what that actually looks like is going through the class that I teach in goal setting and doing that for my own business. And I will do it in a lot more detail. So this is probably going to take me 3 or 4 days to do. I'm going to map out all of my launches, all of my promotions, all of those things. I'm going to put dates into my calendar, and I'm going to start to work really, really hard on fleshing that out so that I can be more organized and under less pressure again next year. And to me, having a clear roadmap for the year ahead is so important. So one of the things that I did this year, last year when I was launching my mastermind, I got really busy and I did my launch of my mastermind during Black Friday week. It was horrendous. It was so stressful because everyone starts talking about Black Friday on the Monday before Black Friday, and that's when my launch week was. So I was in the middle of launch when everyone was in the middle of Black Friday. This year, I had done and finished and completed my launch for my mastermind 2 weeks before Black Friday. And I was so grateful that I remember last week I talked about lessons wrapped in sandpaper. I'm so grateful that I learned the lesson that didn't work in terms of timing. The launch worked, but the timing didn't. So I made sure this year it went into my diary nice and early. So next year I'm probably tempted to make it right at the beginning of November for my launch of my mastermind, because then we can have everything ready to go, all locked and loaded. So that comes for Black Friday, it comes to Christmas, and I'm like, I'm not launching. And that's not something that anybody wants to do. It takes a lot of energy and it takes a lot of focus. And when people are really distracted by things like Black Friday, it can also not go how we would like it to go. So, to me, having that good planning and looking at dates and working out what's important. And this comes back to that planning around our calendar. So, whilst I no longer have children at school, I appreciate that many of my audience do. And experience has told me that launching during school holidays doesn't go well, running things during school holidays doesn't go well. So when I'm creating my calendar, one of the first things I do is put school holidays in there because I try and stay away from those if I can. So that is my break and what it's going to look like. On a personal note, I've been really consistent about going to the gym, improving my health, improving my fitness this year. But this last quarter has been incredibly challenging because I've been so busy and it's kind of gone awry. So one of my goals over the Christmas break is to go to the gym 6 days a week, which is what I was doing in the middle of the year, and I loved it and I felt good for it. And so whilst I intend to work, I have lots of flexibility because I don't have to show up online at a certain time. And so one of my goals is to get back to going to the gym 6 days a week. So that is what my intention is in terms of personally, is being more focused on my health. My husband and I also said that we wanted to spend more time together, which I know is weird. We work together and you probably think we spend a lot of time together. but it's busy work stuff. We're often talking practical stuff. And now our boys are getting older, we often find ourselves sitting around, just the two of us. And so we had kind of decided that we wanted to do more things and go out more often. So last week we went to like an outdoor cinema, to some movies in a beanbag, and it was super fun. And so over that Christmas break, I want us to do, like he and I, to do a bit more planning on what do we want next year to look like, having a chat to our boys about what holidays they might like to take with us, because we're at that point now where they have to decide if they want to come away with us, and kind of plan out our personal activities as well as our business things. So yes, it is going to be a busy month. Yes, I'm going to be flat out, but I'm also really mindful that I'm going to be doing things that is going to set me up for success in 2025. And I'm really excited about that, because the more effort I can put into planning now, the easier it's going to be next year. So I hope that you are inspired by some of my ideas of what I've shared today. Please do go to the show notes. I really want you to check out, as I said, Mari's Canva Declutter Challenge. It's not an expensive course, and it's certainly going to give us the tools to sort our Canva without that overwhelm. I hope that you are taking some of this away. I know that not all of you have the luxury like I do of taking time away from my business, but please try and find some time to get organized, declutter, feel like you bringing some fresh energy into the new year. So that is my hope for you. I'm going to finish up by saying a big, huge thank you. So many of you listen to my podcast every single Wednesday morning. You have it on your to-do list. You message me on Insta and say, I love today's episode. You all, as my listeners, truly fill up my cup, because, as I said, creating a podcast takes a lot of effort. For me to sit down and record the episode, my husband does all of the technical things, which magically make it appear everywhere on the internet. All of those things take time and effort, but they are so worth it because of you, my listeners. So I want to just finish by saying thank you. Thank you for tuning in really consistently. Thank you for giving me feedback, which has often helped me shape future episodes. Thank you if you have left me a review on one of the platforms. Thank you if you have shared an episode that you have listened to. All of that means the world to me. I am a small business, and as small business owners, we absolutely thrive and need other small businesses to support us. So thank you so much for your support and for your passion for the Social Circus and for loving it as much as I do. I hope that you've got lots of value from it. Remember, we are taking a break now for a month, and we will be back on Wednesday, the 8th of January with a new episode. I am so excited for the new year. I am excited for 2025 and what it is going to bring for all of us. If you've loved today's episode, send me an instant DM. Say, Sarah, this is what I love. This is what I'm planning to do. I would love to hear from you. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to me. It has been a wonderful year of podcasting for me. Over the break, if you follow my socials, I'm going to be sharing a few podcast highlights during that Christmas period of what have been my favorite episodes, that kind of thing. So keep your eye out for that, because hopefully you can come back and revisit some episodes as well. But enjoy your break. Enjoy the time away from your business and that intense period. Try and find some time to relax and recoup and recharge your energy. That's really, really important. And remember, it is a new year next year, and I'm really excited for what it's going to bring for all of us. So till then, stay safe, have a wonderful Christmas break, and I'll look forward to catching you all in 2025. Thanks again for tuning into the Social Circus. Thanks so much for tuning in to the Social Circus. As your host, Sarah Thompson, I am thrilled that you've chosen to spend your time hanging out with me. I would be so grateful if you could spare an extra moment to go and leave me a review on your favorite podcasting platform. And if you even felt more excited, you could share my podcast with your friends who you think would get great value from it. Thanks so much again for tuning in.